first aircraft were modified with cargo doors in this facility. In 1975, the facility was purchased by Dassault, and we became Falcon Jet. And since then, the facility has grown and changed shape several times to support new aircraft models, new technologies, and for the needs to deliver the best business aircraft in the world, the Falcon. There have been over 2,600 Falcons delivered to over 90 countries around the world, and most of them were completed right here in this facility. Now we're about to hear the next chapter in our company's journey. To explain that next chapter, I am pleased to introduce our Dassault Falcon Jet CEO, Mr. Terry Betbez.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. So first of all, I would like to welcome our guests today. We have Governor Sanders with us. We have Clint O'Neill, we have Jay Shasher, and we have the mayor of Little Rock. I want also to say hello to all of you here in this hangar, and also I want to say good morning to those behind the curtains. They are still working, and unfortunately they cannot be with us. We have some customers to deliver by the end of the year. But I want to thank those guys not to be there. And we think about them indeed. Thank you, Mark. You told about our history, and I think this is something important for us. In June 2025, it will be the 50th anniversary of Dassault Falcon Jet Corporation in those days in Little Rock. So this is something important. And this is important for me because I think tradition is something very important. And tradition is, for those of you who like the words, their etymology, it comes from an old Latin word, tradere. Tradere means to carry over, to hand over. And it become, because languages are moving a lot, history, geography, it becomes also trade in English. But tradition for me is important because this is transmission, and transmission means future. And I'm here to talk to you about the future and our projects in here in Little Rock, which are the reasons why we are there today. You know that the future is already now. On this other side of the hangar, we know that we have some 6X, Falcon 6X. And this is our future today. There are other programs under development. This is the future tomorrow. This is not the right time to talk about them. But we have a future. What means that future? That future means that we will invest several tens of millions of dollars in new facility buildings to build the new planes. Future means that we will hire hundreds of new employees in Dassault Falcon Jet Corporation. These are challenges indeed, but this is future. Future means also that for the state, for the city, we will train new kids, I hope boys, but also girls, to become technicians. Because in a world where everything is virtual, what we have to offer as a company are real, true jobs with good compensation, something interesting, technology, and I hope we'll be able to attract, together with governors and the other here, we'll be able to create a taste for aviation, for these jobs. So this is the future for some of our kids. This is also a future for Little Rock, for Arkansas, because we will bring some economic development in the region, in the city. And we are very happy to be part of that with your teams. It's a relation, between Arkansas, Little Rock, and Dassault, which is kind of affectionate relation. We have been there now for nearly 50 years. So it's important to continue that tradition, to carry over, to bring the future. And I'm fairly optimistic about our future. I was last week with Paul Florek, he's around there, I can see him. We were in California, and we saw many customers. All of them were saying, your aircraft are very different. Nothing compares to you. It was a nice song, but I hope it was not a song within the customers when they were saying that. So we believe that we have a true future so long we continue to manufacture aircraft with the technology we love in Dassault and with the quality you're able to manufacture in Iraq. So we have a future. So I think now it's time for me to thank our guests, the Governor Sanders, the Mayor, Jay, Clint, for the help they gave us. Because as talented as we may be, it's not enough. We need friends, we need support, and the state of Arkansas, the city of Little Rock gave us a strong support, financially speaking, but also they will help us grow that workforce we need. So I would like to ask you for a round of applause for our guests. Before I leave the floor, I would also like to thank our team in Dassault Falcon Jet, the one we discussed with the different bodies in that negotiation. We have Jim Marks, our General Counsel. We have Ron Delano, our financial CFO. We have also Mark Bremer, and we have Jeff Griffin in Little Rock as well. So they were instrumental in making that deal happen. I would also like to thank you, all of you there, and not only you, because I know that sometimes we ask you to work overtime, and I know this usually happens in December. It's not easy. You have families, you have wives, husbands, kids, and it's always a price to pay. So I would like to thank you, but also your families, for the effort and the dedication you give to Dassault Falcon Jet. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Terry, for the exciting news for our company. Our next speaker is a strong supporter of aerospace and defense in the state of Arkansas. We're excited to have her here today with us for this great announcement. Please join me in welcoming the 47th Governor of the great state of Arkansas, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
I like the way Terry operates. He's already demanded a round of applause for us, and we haven't even started. So we are so excited to be here this morning. I want to give a huge, and I think that one of the biggest thanks and one of the biggest selling points that we have had in this announcement is to all of the people that are standing towards the back. A huge thank you to all of the employees from Dassault for taking time off today, but more importantly, for representing our state so well and letting them know what we are capable of so they are willing to continue to invest in the great state of Arkansas. You have done a phenomenal job. And because of your hard work, because of the way that you represent our state, this company is growing and reinvesting even more here in Arkansas. And Terry, thank you so much for making the trip to Little Rock. We're glad to have you back here in Arkansas again and look forward to having you over and over and over again. We know you've got a ride, so there's no excuse for you not to come back and visit. And Mayor Scott and all of our team at AEDC, Department of Commerce leadership, and all of the other local leaders that are here today. I know we've got a number of legislators here in the room, and we appreciate your presence, but also your partnership. Without you, we wouldn't be in the position that we are to bring in and have companies continue to invest in our state. I'm happy to say that this is definitely not the first time that Terry and I and some of the other Dassault executives have had the chance to get together. Our first meeting was at the Paris Air Show last summer. The Paris Air Show is the world's largest gathering of executives and leaders from Europe, America, and beyond. And since aerospace happens to be Arkansas's largest export, totaling more than $1 billion, I knew that it was important for Arkansas to have a strong presence there last summer. I also decided that I would take my kids with me. You know, being governor and a mom to 3 elementary-aged kids can be sometimes a pretty difficult balance. As anyone with young children can tell you, traveling with kids comes with its own certain special set of headaches. We were trying to figure out how to manage all of the dynamics of the trip, and we had just stepped off the plane. We thought we would take our kids to take in Paris for a moment before my first meeting began. So we walked off the plane, went to one of the first little sidewalk cafes that we found, and thought, what better way for our kids to experience and take in Paris? Unfortunately, as we looked up, I saw just across the street there was X-rated store after X-rated store lining the block behind our kids. I elbowed my husband, and he obviously saw what I did. And so instead of people watching and taking in the sights like we planned, we spent the entire time trying to distract our kids so they wouldn't see what was behind them. We thought we'd made it until the very end, when right there as we were walking away, our youngest son goes, "Look, Mommy, can we go to that place? It's the coolest store I've ever seen. They have toys and DVDs." Some of you will get that later. Thankfully, the rest of our trip went much better than that first stop. Our meeting with Dassault in particular was a huge success. As you can see here at this facility, they already have a massive footprint here in the state of Arkansas. Terry talked about our strong workforce, our low cost of doing business, and our easy access to major U.S. markets. More excitingly, he suggested that his company wanted to grow its presence in our state even more. We also, after Paris, were able to host Terry and a number of the executives from Dassault at the governor's mansion, where we served them a special drink called the Falcon, and I think that may have been what really helped us seal the deal. So over the past 6 months, our team has been working overtime to secure what will be one of the largest investments in our state in recent years. 800 new, good-paying jobs, and a facility that secures our state's place as an aerospace powerhouse. Arkansas workers, past, present, and future, have shown that they have the skills and the work ethic to get this job done. And frankly, the entire world is starting to notice. Between private aviation here in central Arkansas, defense in the Golden Triangle, military installations in Little Rock and Fort Smith, and a host of other investments across the state, Arkansas's role in aviation is literally taking off. And we are so proud of what we are able to do. But don't let that make you think that our administration is taking our foot off the gas at any point. We want more good-paying jobs, we want more investment, and we want more great companies like Dassault to think of Arkansas first when they're deciding where to invest. That's why my administration is committed to continuing to cut taxes, which we've already been able to do with the help of a lot of the legislators that are here today, to the tune of over $300 million in just the past year. It's why we're dedicated to improving our schools, which is why we passed Arkansas Learns last spring. And it's why we are investing in our workforce like never before. We know that it is one of the best ways that we can continue to recruit and retain great businesses like this one here in Arkansas. I want to thank Dassault for their commitment to this project and for working so closely with our team. And I want to thank the incredible leadership that we have at Commerce and AEDC and all of the team in Little Rock who have helped us land this deal. And once again, I want to close with where we started. I want to say thank you to the men and women who are already working here at this facility. Dassault is growing its presence in Arkansas because it believes in Arkansans like each of you. You're the reason that we're here today. You're the reason that we are getting to make this announcement. Thank you again, and congratulations to Dassault and to all of Arkansas. Thank you.
thank you again for your continued support of our company and the aerospace and defense industry in Arkansas. Clint O'Neill is the Executive Director of the Arkansas Economic Development Commission. Clint and his team have worked diligently with us to make this announcement happen today. He has a passion to help communities win economic development projects and for companies to be successful in Arkansas. Please help me welcome Mr. Clint O'Neill.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning, everyone. So, at the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, we wrote a new mission statement earlier this year, and it starts by saying, at AEDC, we know economic advancement doesn't happen by accident. These things don't just happen. There's a group of leaders that come together. There's a group of executives here at Dassault that believes in Little Rock, Arkansas. What we do in economic development is we compete, and then we need to win. In order to compete, you have to show up. As Governor Sanders mentioned, showing up in Paris, building those relationships with the team here at Dassault, such an important part of this project. As we met at the Paris Air Show, we talked about all the challenges that it would take to overcome in order for this day to happen. And 6 months later, we're here celebrating this. So we compete with our marketing by elevating the image of what it's like to live and do business in Arkansas. We celebrate these successful stories. We amplify the voices of executives in Arkansas that are finding success. And then we don't want to just compete and be at the table. We want to win. In economic development projects, it typically comes down to, do you have the real estate, the workforce, the business costs, and the state and local leaders to make that happen? We certainly have all four categories. In leadership, I'm so grateful to be able to work alongside Governor Sanders, Secretary McDonald, leaders like Gus Fredsinis here with the Arkansas Economic Development Foundation, Randy Zook with the Chamber. As the Governor mentioned, the Arkansas General Assembly and the work they do for great public policy in Arkansas, reducing taxes, creating a more favorable business climate here in Arkansas helps us to be successful. The Arkansas Congressional Delegation, I know we have representatives here from Senator Bozeman, Senator Cotton, and Congressman Hill's office. To the Little Rock Chamber, our local partners, certainly wouldn't be possible without this great local community from the Chamber, Jay's leadership, Jack Thomas. I see Jared Wycliffe sitting there. He started the project on our team at AEDC as the project manager and is now with the Little Rock Chamber, a big part of the project. Jared, thank you for your work. It takes successful leaders like the Airport Commission, and I see a lot of our commissioners here, the AEDC Council. I want to recognize a few members of the Arkansas Economic Development Commission team. So many people that work around the clock to make this happen. Late yesterday afternoon, getting the agreements just right. I think we signed them right before the event. But Jennifer Emerson, Olivia Womack, I want to recognize Stephanie Isaacs from the Office of Skills Development. So many people that it takes to pull this off. But we have the leadership, we have the real estate, we have this great team at the Airport Commission that helped us with that. You've got this favorable business climate, and as Governor Sanders said, this day is possible because of the men and women here that create these beautiful flying machines and give the Dassault leadership the confidence to say, we can invest $100 million. We can create 800 new jobs because these engineers, these craftsmen, these men and women are getting the job done, and it gives the confidence to say, we look all around the nation, all around the world for where they're going to do this work, and they landed on Little Rock, Arkansas because of your hard work, because of your ability to get things done. So thank you for your work, for the confidence that you give to company leadership to give us the opportunity to put more Arkansans to work in more and better jobs. So my message to the Dassault leadership team is, it's been great working with you. It's been a great journey. Today we celebrate. Tomorrow we're still with you. We partner with you. on workforce development initiatives to put hundreds of Arkansans to work, and we'll be with you every step of the way. Thank you.
Clint, thank you, and the entire ADC team that worked with us to get this project to where it's at. You did a much better job saying all the names. I know that I'd tried to do that, I would not have been so successful, so a lot of folks helped. Jay Cheshire has served as the president and CEO of the Little Rock Regional Chamber since May of 2006. He is the 15th executive of the chamber in its long 158-year history. Whether it's been helping create employment solutions during difficult times in the market, to now supporting our third major expansion in the last 15 years, our relationship with the Little Rock Regional Chamber extends far beyond press releases and press events. Please help me welcome a longtime friend of Deso Falcon Jet, President and CEO of the Little Rock Regional Chamber, Mr. Jay Cheshire.
Thank you, Mark. And obviously most everything that needs to be said has been said. I want to say one thing, though. I can't look out among this sea of faces without thinking of all of you, all of the families that you represent, all of the people and families that have come before you. And now, after today's announcement, not only what you and your future will be here, but for the thousands of people that will come behind you. 50 years. 50 years is a long time. 50 more is so exciting. I was laughing with the governor as we were standing a few minutes ago in the holding room talking about flying into Paris a day and a half late, not having my luggage, having to go and find clothes in a city that doesn't fit people like me very well. 5'10", 230 doesn't work much in France. Not even having shoes, but having a pair of Birkenstocks with black socks as I walked into the first meeting. Randy Zook's still laughing about it, but it worked because of relationships, and Mark talked about that. You know, I recall back in 2008, 2009, when we were in a world of uncertainty, and the world was in uncertainty, and yet we wanted to save these people and their positions, and working together to find a way to get through the difficult times so that we could get to today, the wonderful times. And I think about Jack Thomas and the economic development team and the countless hours and phone calls that it took to get to this day. And I think about the mayor and going and sitting in his office and saying, we've got to do better. We have to be able to compete around the country and around the world. And the mayor answering the call. I can't help but think of Chairwoman Jill Floyd of the Little Rock Airport Commission saying, yes, let's work on this. Brian Malinowski, Greg, Tom, Shane, the entire group at the Little Rock Airport, working together day and night. Just last week, Jack and I sitting with them, going through 40+ pages of what needed to be done to come to today. It's about people. It's about all of you. And more importantly, it's about those that don't even know who we are, that tomorrow begins the opportunity for a new life. Terry, congratulations to you, to Ron, to Jim, to the entire team in New Jersey, obviously to Mark and Jeff, Sebastian, and the entire team here in Little Rock. Today's a great day.
Jay, again, thank you and your team for all that you've done to get us here. It was teamwork. Mayor Frank Scott Jr. began his second term, the 4-year term, as mayor of Little Rock, January of this year. Mayor Scott is the 73rd mayor and has pledged to be Little Rock's Chief Growth Officer. Please help me welcome Mayor Frank Scott Jr.
A long time ago, in banking, I understood that building relationships, trust, matter. Relationships and trust. We stand here today, many times in our business, we always talk about recruiting the company. But today we are expanding a company that's been with us 50 years. 50 years. 50 years of a jobs ministry here in the state's capital city, 50 years of providing for families, 50 years of cementing our place as an aerospace industry leader. And it starts with cultivating a relationship. See, a relationship has good days, it has bad days and ugly days, but if you truly have a relationship, you can weather storms. And even in the midst of the storm, you'll see the daylight. And as Governor Sanders and I traveled to Paris, we had a mission that we had to stand together as a collective we, representing the Little Rock Airport Commission, the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, the Little Rock Chamber of Commerce, the Arkansas State Chamber of Commerce. We had one goal: to expand the relationship, to ensure that our residents in this city and this region could continue on for another 50 to 100 years. And so to Chairman Floyd and all the members of the Little Rock Airport Commission, and to Jay Cheshire and Jack Thomas, many times the hands and the feet of a deal is not recognized. We're here today because of the hands and the feet of the Little Rock Chamber, the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, Secretary McDonald, and we say thank you for that cultivating of that relationship, but understanding of the collective we. There's no me, there's no I. There's always a we. And in moving from this cultivation and understanding the collective we, it's about how do we cement our future here in the state's capital city and Central Arkansas region. To understand that we're no longer competing with city against city or state against state. It's about global competition. And we're grateful that we stand here today with a true victory of a collective we. Thank you.
Mayor, thank you for being here. Also, thank you for the efforts that you've made along with the Airport Commission. Those efforts are greatly appreciated. That concludes today's announcements. Again, I'd like to thank Governor Sanders and all of our guests for being here with us today. I'd like to also thank Dassault Falcon Jet and Dassault Aviation employees for the work that you have done, for the work that you're doing today, and for the work you will do tomorrow to craft the best business aircraft in the world, our Falcons. Only through the work and dedication could this announcement be made today. I'd also like to thank Mr. Chairman Eric Trappier and Mr. Lois Gallen for having trust in this facility and believing in us. And they pass on their appreciation to our guests as well. Thank you. And thank you for all of our employees. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do. I wish you and your families a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Let's go build some Falcons.
When do y'all want us to move up there so we can get some video? Yeah. I wasn't going to do it till you told